Okay, I think I am sharing my screen right now, which is what I want to do. If you look on the right side, there's a shared link to a Google Doc that should look like this. It just has some bullet points starting with favorite thing you've done so far this summer. Since this is the first time that we've done this, we're probably all kind of having technical difficulties, myself included. But what I'm trying to get you to look at is this. So this is kind of the itinerary of what we're going to talk about today. So I'm just going to record this and then send it to you if you missed it. But first, favorite thing you've done so far this summer. Mine's been pretty fun. I enjoyed the last 2 weeks of school. We had spring ball camp the second to last week, and then right after graduation that next day, myself and two puncher ghosts got to go be a part of the Shrine Bowl for a week in Casper, which was a ton of fun. And then right when we came back Sunday night, we started Evanston camp that next morning. So I felt like I got to do 3 out of 4 weeks of pretty much straight football, which doesn't happen very often in May and June. So I enjoyed that. I've also been hanging out with my son a lot. At home, my wife works as a nurse. Apparently my camera's not working, so I was going to try and switch to that, but I'll just go back to my screen. And other stuff I've done, I've got to go fish a couple times. I've shot a lot of prairie dogs. Yesterday I shot quite a few. Bo can testify that he saw the brass in my razor when I got home, but that was a lot of fun. So I've enjoyed my summer. I hope you guys have too. Doing some stuff you don't have time to do during the school year and doing some things outside. If you don't do stuff outside, I feel like you probably shouldn't live in Western Wyoming, because that's really one of the best things about living here. So football business. First, I thought we'd just go over the team gear stuff and confirm that's what you guys want. And that's what I have down, so they can set up that website for us to order from later this month. The first thing is the logo. So I'm going to pop this on my screen. On the front of the shirt, it's going to say Puncher Football, the BP in there, 2016. And then we said gray long sleeve shirt, like a tech tee type material, that logo on front, and then ignore the up part. It's just going to say Rise like this, going up the right sleeve, I believe. And I asked and they said they could do that. So I thought that made the most sense in terms of like where to put it and which direction. So it won't say up, it'll just say RISE like this in red letters outlined in white. The socks are going to be the same as last year, black crew socks, like halfway up your calf, not the knee-high ones. The jacket's going to be the same red one with the BP logo. The pants are those black fleece ones with the BP logo. Some of you guys and your moms told me that the material last year's pants were made of didn't work super awesome. So we're going to go back to the ones before. I think this last year they were cotton and we want polyester. But if you have some, you don't need to get new ones unless you really want to. Then the last thing is a practice jersey, because we're going to try and get practice jerseys this year. So if you want your own, we're going to do either gray or white, and it's going to say Puncher Football on the front. And then hopefully they're going to have it set up on your website when you order. You can put your last name on the back. You can also put like your first initial. If you have a relative or somebody with the same name as you, you could put like A. McKelkey instead of just McKelkey. And then we'll try and get some for guys who don't want to buy their own. Hopefully the school will buy 15 or 20 of them. So that's what I have for team gear. If that differs from what you thought or you wanted, please let me know, because it's going to get set up probably in like 2 or 3 weeks. The other big thing to know is the little guy in middle school football camp. It's going to be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, July 18th through the 20th. So if you look on your calendar, today's the 3rd of July. It's basically like 2 weeks from Monday. and it goes from 8 to noon. So the way it's going to work is we're going to have rotating stations by position area. So we usually do like offensive positions for an hour or so. And then the high school players, you guys coach your position area. So for example, if you're an offensive lineman, you come and you get a group of like 4 to 6 kids, we'll guess, and teach them what you do in your EDDs and basic stuff with your stance and your footwork, so on and so forth. And then they rotate. So you'll stay there and keep doing O-line, and you'll get a new set of kids every 15 minutes. And then we'll do the same thing for defense. And then each day we kind of progress and review the basic stuff you did the day before, but maybe add something on top of that, just like we do at practice. So you guys will really be the coaches of that camp. The high school coaches will be there. I'll be there mostly just to like do paperwork and ask or answer parents' questions and kind of logistical things like that. But you guys are going to do the coaching. You don't get paid. If we have extra t-shirts, we'll get you a t-shirt. They're going to be white with Puncher Football in red on the front. You can also put that down as community service. It's a good way to make relationships with those young guys that really look up to you and kind of see you as their idols, whether you see that or not. I see it and hear it all the time from them. So it's a good opportunity for you guys, and we couldn't run the camp without you. So please put that on your calendar if you haven't already, and be ready to come 8 to noon those 3 days. The other thing is kind of what should I be doing? And I thought we'd look at it from 2 different perspectives. Just a guy who plays high school football, I don't care what school, what position, what level, how good you are, whether you're a leader or not, what should you be doing between now and when your practice starts? So the first thing for us is you should be lifting in the high school weight room 3 times a week unless you are out of town. We're in there 6 to 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, every week. Tomorrow, the 4th of July, we'll be in there at 7 a.m. and it's going to count as double. But I think that's the only holiday we have that'll change the schedule. So if you're here, you need to make an effort to do that. Some people say, well, I lift at the annex, or I lift on the Bowflex with my dad in the garage, or dumbbells in my basement. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. You should do that. But the problem is, A, what program are you doing? And B, bigger problem, what do your teammates think of you if you're not there lifting with them? Because it's not just about lifting. It's about building relationships with your teammates. And the number one thing you're building is trust. And I can tell you right now, if I'm a quarterback, I don't want an offensive lineman blocking for me who lifts with his dad on the Bowflex in the basement, etc. I want the guy who's in there lifting in front of me, doing sets with me, spot me, and I'll trust him, and that goes the same thing with everybody else. If you are out of town, say you go visit your mom, you're on vacation, whatever, if you let any of us coaches know, we'll find a high school that's in that town and just say, hey, this guy's here for a week or a weekend. When do you lift? I've done this for 4 years, and I've never had a coach from another town say no. We've had kids go to Douglas for the fair. Their coach always lets them come lift. We had a kid go to Utah for the entire summer. I just called the high school closest to his stepmom's house and said, hey, can this kid come lift? And they said, yep, sure. So as long as you let us know, we can get you in. So you don't have to pay. The reason for that is you don't have to pay to go to like a rec center or something out of town. Any high school will let you in if you just let us know. We'll give them a call. So that's first on the list. The other big thing is take care of your body. And I thought 3 simple things to think about: nutrition, what you're putting in your body, food and drink wise. Be smart about it. Don't eat a bunch of junk food, drink a lot of pop, skip meals, whatever, get a lot of protein. Sleep, man, some of you guys struggle with this during the school year, but the good thing about the school year is you have a schedule. Sleep is a challenge in the summertime when you don't have something to wake up for or a strict regimen that you follow. So make sure you guys are getting 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep. That's fine, but don't be doing the 4 or 5 hours of sleep where you stay up till 3 a.m. playing video games every single night. And then the other thing is not just because it's illegal, but also because it impairs your ability to be an athlete. And that's no drugs and alcohol. I know some kids are probably going to party and do things and say, oh, it's summertime. But that's not a smart decision, just as a human being, but also as a football player. So take care of your body this summer. Do some cardio. Biggest thing is it's always easier to stay in shape than it is to get back into shape. And you should be doing that a couple days a week and doing more as we get closer to August 15th. Another one is study your plays, which are in Huddle, and just watch football on TV. I know it's not football season. I was watching football with my son today, and there was a replay of the Ole Miss Arkansas game where they went into like double or triple overtime. And you can always find that. If it's not on TV, you can go on YouTube. You can just Google, Alabama versus Clemson national championship game and find a link to it. And you can also be asking your position coach questions about techniques and schemes, like your stance, how to run this route, how to block this, and just be a student of the game and try and be a guy who learns about football outside of football season. The last thing, which is not optional, it's mandatory, is you have to get a physical before August 12th. So again, if we look at the calendar, here's August. I say by August 12th because that Monday after we start, the 15th, you can't go get a physical that day and be cleared to play. So the absolute latest you should have that schedule is August 12th. If you want to get in on that free day, Wednesday the 10th, so that's just 5 days before we start, you can go to the Marbleton Clinic starting at 8 o'clock and get your free physical. Your parents can come with you, or you can take the paperwork home, have them sign it, and then bring the paperwork with you on the 10th. But either way, you have to have a parent's signature if you're not 18. The last couple things to talk about is as a leader, so specific to me, not just any guy in the team, what should I be doing between now and August 15th? And obviously it's all the same stuff above, but one of the biggest ones is do those same things, but include other people with you. So for example, the first bullet point of what I should be doing as a football player is lifting. Most of you guys have been really good about lifting, and our attendance has been good this summer, but do you call or text or Snapchat or whatever the heck you do some guy who's wishy-washy about the weight room, say, hey, I'm going in tonight in an hour, see you there, or hey, I'll pick you up on my way, or hey, let's go throw after we lift on Mondays? Because that's the kind of thing that builds great teams. It's not 5 or 6 guys who lift and 5 or 6 guys who take care of their body. It's getting a whole group of 45 of them to do that. And I think one of the other ones is when you find articles about leadership, when you are around people who are good leaders, like some of your parents, your fathers, your older brothers, your boss at work, when you're down in a ditch digging or something, and just make an idle conversation, ask them what they think about leadership, what makes a good leader, what are challenging situations you face as a leader, so on and so forth, and just talk to people that you respect about that and always be thinking about that. I know that's something that I try and do. And then there's a spot at the bottom for questions, and you guys, if you have the link to this, you should be able to edit it and just type in, hey, I have a question, or hey, we didn't talk about this. Feel free to put that on there. But I'm going to switch my screen back. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. One other thing, let me switch my screen again. Voxer has not been working super awesome for me, and I couldn't find a couple people to put them in like our Voxer chat. So hopefully you can see my screen. We're going to play around with and just test out, because I don't know how well it's going to work. This app called Telegram, and it's got a little paper airplane icon. You can do this on your computer, but I know most of you guys are on your phones and tablets and stuff during the day. So if you just go to your app store, you should be able to find that. But I made a group just called Puncher Football Leadership, and you can join this. I sent you guys a link last week in your email, but if you need it again, you can do that. But we're going to try that instead of Voxer. Hopefully it works better. If it doesn't, we'll find something else. And I'll ask you guys what you think, because I know some of you use things like WhatsApp, or I don't know. There's a lot of different ones. I haven't heard of most of them. But if you don't have Telegram yet, get that on your phone and then check your email. And I sent you a link to join that chat. If you have questions, just let me know. But most of you guys should be able to figure that out. So we'll pick another Sunday at 2 o'clock and see if we can get more people to join in. But we recorded this so I can send it to you and put it on YouTube. So I hope you guys are having a good summer, and I will see you in the weight room.